This is a question that is not for Americans, mostly. Americans are welcome to make their own comments about, or rather, not comments, but answering my question. But I'm really directing this at foreigners, non Americans. There is a stereotype that the most arrogant people are French. And I've met a couple of French people, and one of them, he was kind of arrogant, and the other guy, not so much. A little bit arrogant, but not so much. Um, or maybe it's just the way French people interact. I don't really know. I've never been to France. I guess I'd have to ask my daughter's French teacher, but it's the end of the school year, so can't really do that very easily, I suppose. So, what I want to know is for those of you who are familiar with people from different nations, perhaps you're in the tourism industry. Perhaps you like to travel the world. Perhaps you work in hotels, something or cruise lines. In your experience, in your opinion, people of which nation or nations tend to be the most arrogant? Is it really the French, or maybe it's the English, or maybe it's Americans, or maybe it's people from I don't know from Japan? I really don't know. But in my experience, I see a lot of arrogance from Americans. Part of it is nationalism, which I get. This is something that happens in a lot of nations. People get proud of their country, so they say America number one, America number one. Well, actually, if you look at statistics, America is number one in almost nothing, and in some cases, America lags behind almost all the other industrialized nations. But that's not the point of this video. The I also see Americans who will belittle people who are not fluent in English, and do other bad things on the internet, and it just makes me wonder. I know that in some places America is not very popular. When I lived in Indonesia, when I first went there during the Bush number two, right? Reagan, sorry, not regime, regime. I shouldn't say that, should I? During the second Bush's presidency, um, I was not comfortable telling people I was an American, so I would tell them that I was from Canada because everybody loves Canada, right? Um, so yeah, so I just really would like to have the opinion of people who have experience with foreigners, and I've met people in Indonesia who are arrogant. I didn't meet enough Singaporeans to say they were arrogant or not. Pretty much every Singaporean I met was nice, almost all of them. Um, and I really haven't had a lot of interaction with Mexicans and Canadians. The Canadians I've met on the average were nice, very nice people. It's hard to do any interacting with Mexicans because, of course, they don't necessarily speak English when you're in Mexico unless you're on the border. I did have a Mexican neighbor, and he was fairly nice. But yeah, I just like to know. Um, if you don't know, if you haven't had an extensive experience with foreigners, please don't comment. This is strictly for people who have a lot of experience. And I realize that in asking this question, I'm forming a type of stereotype, which is not actually my intention. I'm not trying to really say, oh, a particular nation is more arrogant than another. Although it is theoretically possible that there is a nation that has such a system that makes them arrogant. But I'm just looking for more of a general feel for people with experience with foreigners, what they have noticed as far as, yeah, I don't know, in videos and TV shows and movies, Russians are often portrayed, at least here in America, as being arrogant. But I've met Russians too, and I realize, okay, just making this clear, okay, no, I don't believe there is a particular nation that has a major characteristic of arrogance, okay? But people, there may be nations where arrogance is overrepresented, overrepresented, in interactions with people of other nations. It may just be that they're rich people. It may not actually because of nationality. That's certainly a possibility. But I would like to know what your experience is. So if you could please share with me in the comments, I appreciate it. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.